There's one powerful trick that can seriously boost how fast you learn, and it all comes down to variability, or in simple terms, mixing things up. In psychology, there's even a term for it, contextual interference. So what does that actually mean in real life? Imagine you're studying for something like the SAT. You've got algebra problems and physics problems. Most people do it like this. Finish a whole block of algebra, then move on to physics. But if you mix them together, solve them in random order, your learning actually becomes way more effective. Why? Because every time you see a problem, your brain has to pause and figure out what kind of problem it is first. That extra step forces deeper processing. As a result, you get better at recognizing patterns, and you start understanding the material on a much deeper level. Plus, your brain builds more connections. Your knowledge becomes more flexible, not just memorized, but usable. That's why variability is key to real learning. Now, this doesn't mean you should mix absolutely everything all the time. The point is, the skill you want to master should be trained in different conditions. Let me give you a real-life example. Say you're learning how to drive. If you only ever drive around your quiet suburban neighborhood, you'll feel like you know how to drive. But then you hit downtown traffic in New York or LA, chaos, noise, complicated intersections, and suddenly you're overwhelmed. Why? Because you never trained in those conditions. Same thing in sports. I had this experience with judo. I trained in the same gym, with the same people, over and over. Everything felt comfortable. But then I showed up to a competition, new environment, different opponents, and I completely froze. That's when I realized I had the skill, but it was tied to a specific environment. The right approach is to train in different places, with different people, under different conditions. That's how a skill becomes truly solid and transferable, and this applies to everything. Take communication, for example. If you only talk to people in your circle, your coworkers, your friends, people like you, you're limiting your growth. In the US, this is especially obvious. There are different cultures, backgrounds, communication styles. If you want to get really good at communicating, you need to talk to all kinds of people, clients, strangers, people from different industries and walks of life. That's when you start to actually understand how communication works. Or take YouTube. A lot of beginners think success is about being loud, energetic, like Mr. Beast. So they copy the surface-level stuff, tone, delivery, energy. But that's shallow. Without varied experience, people can get stuck at that level for years, just copying without understanding what actually matters. Depth only comes through variety. Different approaches, different experiments, different contexts. Same with training. If you go to the gym and want to build your legs, don't just squat over and over. Add variety. Different exercises, different styles of training. Better yet, step outside the gym. Try sprints, running, maybe even sports. The more variety you introduce, the better your skill develops. So the rule is simple. If you want to get really good at something, stop training only in comfortable conditions. Add variety, because that's what turns a skill into something real, something you can use anywhere.